We both have our Nike on.
We're in Nike.
Yeah.
Everyone, welcome back to the Fleet Feet Huntsville-Madison YouTube channel. I am Ben. I'm here today, very excited to sit down with Suzanne Swift. She's the owner here of the Huntsville-Madison stores and now Swift Recovery, which is just right next door to us. We're talking everything Fleet Feet, Nike, the Vomero, the After Dark Tour. We're going to cover all of that for you on this sit down today. Suzanne, really quickly, for people watching this who may not know who you are, most people watching do know you very well. You've been a pillar in this community for a very long time, but just a quick introduction of yourself and how long you've been here.
So I moved to Huntsville in 2001 and been an avid runner for 35 years, was a swimmer before that, an athlete all my life, and really have a passion for running and helping people find their passion in running. And it's an important part of my life and don't see myself doing anything else. Glad to do this. I ran competitively when I was younger, and now just like everybody else at 56, I'm looking to just stay moving.
You know, and one of our mottos here at Fleet Feet is running changes everything. And the longer you do it, the more we find that is very much the case. Once you start doing it, it's very difficult to imagine yourself doing anything else.
Yeah, I mean, running's helped me through a lot of good times and bad times.
Yeah,
you know, we enjoy the successes of running and the happy times, and then when we're sad or going through things, running helps us process things. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's important.
Yeah, I treat it like therapy because a lot of times it is.
Definitely, for sure.
So we want to get into a lot of things. You recently visited Nike. Tell us just a little bit about that experience, what you got to see there, and what all they covered with you. So
it was great. We went to Nike. I guess it's been 2 weeks now, and a big part of it was to celebrate the launch of the Vomero, which we came back and we had a fun run. We went there. We got to see the training facilities. We got to see where they make shoes, where they design the shoes. We spent 2 full days just collaborating with the Nike team. We got to meet Grant Fisher. We met the CEO of Nike. It was an extraordinary event. And we got to see and talk about the After Dark Tour, which we're going to talk about, which is a big part of running is women's running. And it was a great time to collaborate with. I think there were 100 doors we call running specialty doors there. So it was a great time for us to collaborate with Nike about the needs from run specialty and what we need for our communities. And it was a great event.
So let's talk about the After Dark Tour. This is a night race series that they're doing around the world, I believe.
Yes, so they just have a few cities that they're targeting. And then there'll be some special events that are also going to happen over the next several months. Ours in Huntsville, we haven't announced it yet, but sometime in August, we are going to have an After Dark Tour here at Huntsville-Madison. It will be for women, to celebrate women, and for us to be able to run After Dark and run After Dark safely. Yeah,
so that's really the core message of the After Dark Tour. It's a nighttime race series, I think 10K or half marathon. And it's special because it is geared specifically to women, so particularly emphasizing community and empowerment and women's performance. So in what ways do they kind of capture that and reflect that in the After Dark race series?
So I was thinking about this morning. So, you know, women's running has come a long way. If we look back at the Boston Marathon and Joan Benoit and the things that have happened over the years with women excelling in the sport. And now, you know, not only do women excel in sport, it's part of our lifestyle. And for us women, we have different challenges that men don't have, and we don't ever like to use those as crutches. But I kind of, yesterday we were visiting with Nike, and I mentioned Victor, who's with Fleet Feet Inc. And when we were in Portland, he got up and ran in Portland at 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's not safe for me to go run in downtown Portland at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I ran on the treadmill, which was fine. But we need to have a safe place for women to run after dark or early in the morning before light, however you look at it. So I think that that's a big part of it. Women's running represents about 65% of retail business for run specialty. So women are important, and we need to pay attention to that. And here at Fleet Feet, as you know, most of our team is women. We have a large presence of women. Our managers are women. I'm obviously a woman, but we have Diana Chope, who's a experienced ultra runner. We have Jamie Morrow. We have Donna Ruiz. We have several female leaders here in our.
They're all coaching and mentoring.
Yes. And Melissa Johnson is our coach in Madison, and we need to recognize the challenges that women runners have that are a little different. And when I was younger and naive, I would go out and run in maybe some not so safe places. And now that I'm older, I recognize that I need to be more cautious. Do I want that? No. But if you know me, I do run at 5:00 in the morning. I do have to make adjustments when I'm in a metropolitan city. Huntsville, we're really lucky because it is
pretty
fairly safe here. Even downtown Huntsville is pretty safe to go and run in. I don't recommend that women run downtown Huntsville by themselves, but
we do have some good group runs that go downtown.
But we need to recognize that women have different challenges, and we need to celebrate women athletes and recognize that women are an important part of running, walking, and the movement of women runners from it. And we use the word running. That could also mean burn boot camp or some of the other things that women do that are largely women activities, because women are more active now than they've ever been. My mom never worked out a day in her life. I mean, she didn't never sweat. I don't know about your mom. But,
my mom is going harder than ever now, and she's pushing into her 80s. So,
oh, wow.
So swimming and all that kinds of things. So it is very important.
There's a big move now for women to be active, and I think we need, we all need that. It makes our lives better.
You mentioned Nike, not just empowering female runners, but they've been a major force in women's running for a decade. You mentioned Joan Benoit, who was the first female Olympic marathon winner.
And she's a Nike athlete, and she's still a Nike athlete, and she's still running. She's still running amazing times. And if you've ever listened to her, she is quite an amazing athlete. I had the privilege one year at the running event, sitting with her at a table and having dinner with her, and she still trains. Just like, I don't know how old she is now. She's older than I am. So do you know how old she is?
I do not know.
But she's still, I think she recently broke 3 hours within the last 10 years or so. She's still broke 3 hours for the marathon, which is incredible. And I think, we still have the ability to push ourselves to be faster and be better. And not that it's always about being fast, because a lot of times it is a challenge just to get out the door. And yesterday I was working with somebody, and she's probably in her 70s, and she said her daughter talked her into running a 1 mile race and ended up being a 5 mile race. But she still did it. And I told her, like, you're doing more than 90% of the population, 99% of the population. So, but Nike is doing their part to help women perform, and the Vomero is a good part of that. And I think the Vomero is bringing some life back to Nike too. I know I'm wearing a pair. I ran in a pair yesterday, and I think we're going to have some more information on the Vomero coming out. Yeah,
we are. So we'll kind of recap just the After Dark tour. The Vomero is a big part of that. Just everything from the vibrance, the aesthetic of it. You're seeing that captured in what Nike is doing with the After Dark tour. The LA event is going to be on June 7th. This year. It's a half marathon, nighttime. They're going to have concerts and all kinds of stuff surrounding that. Huge. Major event. And so we're going to try to capture, hopefully this fall, a little piece of that here in Huntsville.
And I think that there's going to be some opportunity for people to win entries into the After Dark tour. I wish we could have the big event here in Huntsville, but we can go to LA, or I think they're going to have something fun in Austin as well. So there's going to be some other opportunities as well for people to get out and experience the After Dark tour. But the big thing is celebrating women's running and helping women run in safe environments after dark.
Absolutely. And we've had these very vibrant, colorful shoes sitting here on camera now. So let's talk about them. This is the brand new Vomero 18. You're wearing them right now. You've run in it. What is new and exciting about this shoe?
So, well, obviously, when you look at it, it's very pretty.
Yeah, it is. I love the greens.
So, yeah, funny story. So I had this on Sunday at Swift, and two runners were doing some recovery stuff, and they came over and bought a pair of shoes.
I was here. Yeah.
Yeah. And this morning, Jody, she came into Swift wearing her new shoes, and she was like, "These are the most amazing shoes that I've ever had." And they are super cushiony.
Yep.
If you need cushioning, if you have some joint issues, or you just like cushioning, they have a good roll to them.
Yeah.
So they have a good push off. They work great on flat. They worked great on hills. Like I ran hills yesterday, and solid cushioning, a nice snug heel. So the heel is good, which I have a tendency to slip on the right heel, which you could see if I were running uphill, sometimes you're going to pull on the heel a little bit more. I didn't have any problems with that. So great shoe. It is beautiful. Nice cushioning. I think all around good long run shoe, everyday trainer shoe, maybe your marathon shoe, maybe half marathon shoe. I've done speed work in it. It's not a really fast shoe.
Yeah, it's not the lightest.
Yeah, it's not the lightest to do speed work in, but if you need that extra cushioning, it's still a good option.
100%. And what you're getting out of this, first of all, just the aesthetic is amazing, but they do give you a little bit of that proprietary Zoom X on the top, so you get that nice, snappy, responsive feel, but you do have all of those, like that super comfy Zoom X cushioning with the airbags under there. Really nice fit. You know, we hear a lot that, oh, Nike runs narrow, Nike runs short. Really does not. I promise. This is a great fitting shoe on a man's foot or a woman's foot. It just fits everybody really well. Responsive, like you said, just great fit and lockdown all through the shoe. So let's talk about that. This shoe was designed with a lot, in fact, primarily input from women, product designers, and runners. Every single aspect of this, from that cushioning that you mentioned to the durability and the style, was done with women's insights and preferences. So why is that important in the modern age of performance footwear?
Well, so Jody and I were again talking this morning, and I haven't run in a Nike in a long time, maybe 10 years. And before, when I did, it was the Pegasus, which was quite popular shoe for everybody at the time. And like I said, like if at Fleet Feet Huntsville and Madison, and probably most retail specialty stores, 65% of our market is women. So we need to be aware of what women need as far as running, and we like a nice cushy shoe.
Yeah.
And we like a pretty shoe.
Yeah.
While some of us, it doesn't matter what they look like, it sure helps when you feel fast when something looks pretty.
When you look and feel fast.
Yeah. But I think that's the importance again. And the whole series of Nike looks pretty.
It does.
It looks really pretty. Even the men's shoes look pretty. They're very attractive.
Yeah.
And there's something about that makes you feel more athletic and faster just because of the way the shoe looks. Just like when you dress for performance, you feel a little faster, you're going to perform a little bit better, even if it's on your daily training run. But the shoe has great cosmetics, and it is very snappy, very cushiony. I think I said that in my video, which I think you're going to share later. I kind of did some snippets. I did 11 miles in the shoe yesterday. And I did, I think 3, 6, and 9. And the shoe was just as cushiony at the end as the beginning. And if you run longer distances, sometimes at the end of your run, your feet get a little tired.
Yeah, fatigue.
You feel that in your feet. And I didn't have any of that sore feet feeling after running 11 miles in the shoe yesterday.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those short on-the-run reviews that we're going to start putting out weekly from our staff members who are taking these shoes out for a spin. So you'll see Suzanne here in a video running in the Vomero 18. We'll push that out next week. What are some things that we in the run specialty industry, not just specific to Nike or the Vomero, but what do we need to consider about women's feet when we're fitting performance shoes?
So goodness, we did this little exercise Wednesday of looking at each other's feet, and I have some bunions. So a lot of us women tend to wear our shoes too short. I was kind of chastised for that a little bit. But we need to be aware of women's feet our feet are the same, but because of some of the things that we've done, you've got women that could have been gymnasts or ballerinas or your mother, my mother, they wore their shoes way too small.
Yeah.
And so their feet are a little bit more, I hate to use the word, but messed up. The bunions or the hammer toes are a little bit worse on the older generation just because they didn't replace their shoes as often as we do now because they didn't have the finances to do it. So, I mean, it wasn't necessarily a cosmetic thing. It was a financial thing. But women's feet, our toes, our bunions, we do feel that because we wear high heels and that affects the structure of our foot in long term. Most men are not wearing high heels. True. So they don't have that. But I think that's an important consideration. And this shoe does just really hug your foot.
It's nice around the midfoot. Like you mentioned the heel, the snugness and fit on the heel. For like a narrower heel, it's a really good fit for a lot of people. Yeah. If you had to sum it up in one sentence, why should everyone out there watching, whether they've been here or they don't know us at all, why should they be excited about Nike, the After Dark Tour, the Vomero 18, what we're doing with Nike here at Fleet Feet in Huntsville?
So I think just to kind of sum it up is, I mean, if you come to Fleet Feet, like we're gonna spend time with you, making sure you're in the right shoe, whether it is this particular shoe or another shoe. But Nike is making good efforts to address women's issues, and that's important. That's important to me. It's important to all women runners that somebody is listening to our needs and addressing them and making a call to take care of women at a different level. And it's just a tiny step. Running is still a male-dominated industry.
It is, very much so.
I mean, store owners, there are not that many women store owners. Fortunately, we can run marathons now, right? So that's huge. But I think it's important that we pay attention to women, that we address women, that we take care of women's needs, that our vendors do as well. And
we're just as concerned with their performance. Like, we're not just going to put you in a cushy, comfy shoe. We want to put you in the best shoe that's going to help your pace or your time or whatever those goals are.
Right. I mean, and we can listen to women when we're on the fit bench about what their goals are. And, at 56, my goals are different than they were at 25. Somewhat. In my mind, I'm still 25 and I still want to run just as fast. But it's age graded now, so we'll take that. But I think Nike is listening that they need to pay attention to women and they need to address the concerns of women, and that we need to be aware in a community forum to take care and make safe places for women.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Listening to the concerns, the needs, we're not going to sacrifice performance for our female runners the same as we would do for male runners or any runner for that matter. We treat everyone the same here at Fleet Feet. We really listen to their needs and we get you in what is going to be best for you. So whether it's a Nike, whether it's the Vomero 18, we'd love to have all of you come down to the stores and try this one out. We've been very, very excited about it here. If you have any final thoughts or words of encouragement out there for women who are thinking about maybe taking on their first 10K or their first half or their first marathon, or maybe just getting out the door and starting running, what would you tell them?
So that's great, because I think it's still an intimidating sport. And even for me with 35 years of running experience, sometimes going to a group run can be a little bit intimidating, that you're afraid you're going to be the slowest person there. And chances are you're not. We have all ranges of abilities, from runners to walkers to walk joggers that come to our training our group runs. And we do have training groups. We have a beginner training group that is starting in 2 weeks. And that's a great opportunity to get ready for Cotton Row. You can start there. And the best place to start is right out your door.
Yeah.
Just don't go run for 30 minutes. Go run for 5 minutes and then walk back.
Yeah.
You have to start off nice and easy so you don't get hurt. And that's the mistake a lot of people make, is that they want to go and run 30 minutes and then they get hurt. Well, your body has to build up the tolerance to the pavement, to the pounding, even if you have good shoes.
Yeah.
You have to build up to that. So start off with 5 minutes and then walk home. And come to your local running store or wherever you are, if you're in Huntsville or Madison or Houston or LA. They'll guide you in the right direction, because we're all motivated to help other people get out and exercise.
That's exactly what we're trying to do here. Come see us. We'll take you through that Fit ID process. We'll make all the recommendations that you need. We'll get you in what is right for you. The right shoe for you is never a popularity contest. So we want to get what is best on your foot to help you accomplish all those goals. Suzanne Swift, this was really fun. I'm glad we got to sit down and talk about it.
It's a nice, pretty shoe.
And hopefully it's a very cool lime green electric or pink and orange shoe. But thank you all for tuning in. Come see us at Fleet Feet Huntsville. Ben Warren, Suzanne Swift. We'll catch you on the next one. Running changes everything.